All right, I'm back after working the last several days, and here in the afternoon and evening, I'm starting this job again, and maybe I'll get to work the next couple of days on it. We'll just have to see what happens. But now, as you probably saw in the last video, I cut the two 2x10s at the end. And I was cutting 7 inches off these ends right here. So I'm gonna run a string line from one end to the other to get all these straight, and then cut the rest of these 2x10s off. And after that, I'll be able to put some braces on all the posts. You know, some 45s, basically like some gussets. So I have to cut some 6x6s for that. We're gonna do them like 3 foot, and then screw those in, you know, to give the whole thing a little more stability from shaking around back and forth, side to side, and all that. You know, those 45s connect to the top 6x6 and the leg post 6x6, and stabilize it a little more. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and jump into. And if you don't know, you know, the first video, you can go check that out where we started this build. And we're working on the 18KPV over here, adding in some solar, since we were able to get this through the upgrade program when I traded in my grow watts that I wasn't using anymore, because I used the 6000 XPs at my house. So I was able to upgrade and get that for a deal. Basically, you can get it for $3,000 if you trade in some grow watts, or the EG4 6000 EX and the 6500 EX. You know, you can trade those in, and you can get you a EG4 18K, or perhaps a 6000 XP if that's what you're looking for. So I'll link that playlist above too, so you can go check that out at the end of this if you want to as well. Definitely be better if I had another person and we could do a chalk line. All right, I put that one on a 45 right in the corner. Guess that's how I need to do the screw on the other end. Make sure it's right on the edge. All right, as you can see, I got that screw right there at a 45-degree angle. You know, I'll be able to wrap this string around where we get it right on the edge there, and then just be able to follow it all the way down and make all these 2x10s straight with each other. So I'm gonna go ahead and start marking them. All right, time to start some cutting. All right, got all the 2x10s cut on the end. Let's see how straight it looks for a amateur. All right, for a amateur non-carpenter, I think it's pretty straight myself. I don't know if you can tell from this end, but there may be one that's a centimeter in more than the other ones, but hey, don't look bad to me. Let's roll with it. On to the next step. And the next step is I'm gonna take these 6x6s, all these spare pieces I got, some that we got, those 8-footers, we're gonna cut them. Basically put a gusset in between, you know, this 6x6 and the 6x6 up here. So just a 45-degree to keep everything more stable. We'll put that basically on every corner. Put it at the front here, put it on the side, on the back, these posts in the middle. You know, every single one of them, we have a gusset on each side. So this thing, you know, if somebody or the wind or something comes and shakes this thing, so you might be able to see it and it shaking just a little bit side to side, you know, that'll help with some of that. Show you what it's looking like so far. Anybody that didn't watch the other video, that's all it is. 6x6 post holding 6x6 by 16s, and then the 2x10s on the top. And once we get all these gussets on, we'll be able to start all the OSB. That's what I'm ready to get done in the middle, so I can get to my solar. What I really want to do, get this 18K going. And actually I forgot, I'm probably gonna cut about 32 inches so I can get 3 out of these 8-footers. And I'm gonna measure everything again just to verify I'm right. So instead of 36 inches, I'm gonna do it about 32. So let's go ahead and get this thing measured and verified. That's what we need, the 32 inches. So we'll be able to get 3 out of that. All right, so this thing is about 96 3/8 or something like that. So 3 32 inches, that's what we'll be able to get out of this. So let's go ahead and mark it off. 32, 64, 96. Oh, look, if you wanted that tape to stay on there, it wouldn't stay on there. Try to pull it off, thing keeps hooking. That's how it is. I ain't got them marked. Go ahead and put a couple scrap pieces under here to hold it up in the air. All right, let's go grab the saw. So going at that 45-degree angle gives kind of nasty cut on the top. So maybe I'll just try it with the regular skill saw to get it going on the top. Maybe it'll be cleaner, and then go back through with that chainsaw attachment. All right, that seemed to work a little better. I'll go ahead and show you. So you see what this first cut looked like? A little jagged on the top, where it's peeling back the wood. And then this one over here, you see, it's pretty clean. So now I should be able to come back through here with a chainsaw, hopefully, and it still look clean. We'll see, it might still peel it up on the edge, but we're gonna go ahead and try it. And it still ended up peeling it up some. I guess where I hit the edge of this one when I was cutting it. But it looks a little better than this edge. I guess it's just, you don't have the right tools. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. See, this edge don't look that bad, but this ain't even the one I'm using. So I'd have to cut more onto this side next time to avoid, you know, it looking like that. And basically that's what it's gonna look like. So put this up there and use some, I think, 8-inch screws. Get this bad boy to stay. I got these 3/8 by 12-inch. I thought they were 8-inch screws. My dad had bought these before we started the project. And so probably have to put these at some kind of angle to make sure they don't go through. Both of the 6x6s when we're installing them. Seems to be lined up. Should definitely help with the shake some, especially once I get them all in. But basically I'm gonna do the same thing for all the rest of them. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them, get them all installed, and we'll probably just jump over to the next step after this. I'll probably show what they all look like, but basically it's the same thing. Ain't no reason to keep doing that over and over and over on the video. So let's go ahead and jump to the next part. All right, I got most of the, I guess, gussets is what you call them up. 45-degree angles, cut the ends and all that. And now we're gonna start putting some plywood up. And bottom line is, all jobs are like this will be easier with multiple people, but I definitely like to show people that a lot of it you can do by yourself. You know, it's just gonna be a lot slower. 55 3/4, you remember that. All right, I'm gonna start with this corner using 3-inch screws to go through the plywood and then into the 2x10. All right, it's square on this side. All right, I think what I need to do to make sure the stuff is straight is cut a board to put in between the 2x10s when I'm placing the plywood up there to make sure the spacing is gonna be right. So we'll go ahead and measure, 24 inches on center, so basically probably take 1.5 inches off of that. So 22.5, I'm guessing. I'm gonna go ahead and measure to make sure. And then we'll cut something 22.5 inches to make the spacing right before we're putting everything in. Because of course all the wood you get now, these 2x10s, stuff ain't gonna be completely straight. So I want the plywood halfway on both ends. As you can see, it's all the way on the edge, so I have to pull the thing out. Put that board in the middle, it should pull it out, and then screw the thing down. Let's see if you can see that. So, pull it out like that and get it right. So that right there is the little board I cut. So, we'll get it in between here. Hopefully it's long enough. Just throw it. Almost came back off. All right, get ready to start this second row of plywood. And of course you don't want it to land on the lines or whatever on the other piece, so we're gonna have to do some cuts. You know, I can't get a full sheet up here to land straight because both the ends are not 24 inches on center. Everything else is. So I'll probably cut a small piece to go in between these two, and then go from this one right here and down to about the middle, or a little past the middle of this next sheet. And that's good enough. As long as they're not landing on the same beam, you want to stagger them. At least from my understanding. I'm not a carpenter, like I said. $31 1/4. So measure from the end to the next one, 31 1/4. So we'll go down there and cut us a piece. Halfway with the plywood, and the only reason I'm on top of this is because it's fairly flat. You know, I'm definitely not a roof person, but I'll probably get on this and be able to work on it most of the time. Probably gonna still need some help when I do them panels, just because of how heavy they are, but we'll see what we're able to do. All right, basically what I'm doing, trying to move over and get my proper spacing. So I got this little 2x4 that was ripped down with a nail remover, just prying over the 2x10 to get it right at 48 inches. Not sure if you can see that or not. Till I get it at 48 inches. And then bam, perfect. All right, now what we're gonna do is see what size sheet we're gonna need for over here. Take a measurement. The full sheet, of course, is not gonna fit over here. 66 inches right there. $10.51. Already burning up out here. Got out here early today. At least I got a little bit done before it gets super hot. All right, so I got most of the OSB up. I got a couple pieces I might have to go pick up at Lowe's, just so I can have some full sheets to put up here. I have a couple sheets that I got that was cut, and I'd rather just have the full sheets up there, and that's not gonna be enough scrap anyway. But since I'm kind of at a stopping point today, unless I go pick something up and only got a couple more hours that I can stay here, I'm gonna start doing the fill at the front where the OSB is already at, and go ahead and start to get that installed. And if I can get enough on there, I'll probably start doing the middle if I have time too at the bottom. So we'll see how far we can get. All right. Had to pick up my son from driver's ed. But I'm done for today. So, not done yet. Hopefully another couple days and a couple full days of work and be done. Guess there's always a possibility you get it done one day, but I doubt it. I gotta finish up these boards and a couple more at the bottom, the 6x6s, and finish putting all this felt on and put the metal on, and then actually start doing the solar. You know, which is the whole reason for all of this. And all this stuff's gonna take a lot longer than the solar's gonna take. But they'll have some nice shade and be able to stay a little cooler in the summer, and or even out in the weather or something, to be able to walk to a couple of their different doors in their garages without having to go outside. When you see me, I should be finishing this stuff up and finishing this whole process of getting these solar panels installed, and hopefully in the videos to come get to start doing some testing at an 18K. All right, as you can probably see, I finished putting all the felt on top of the roof here, and now it's time to start doing the metal sheets and the metal roofing. So I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and grab a piece and just throw it up there on my own, or if I'm gonna need some help. Let's go ahead and give it a try. All right, as you may be able to see, you got about half of the panels maybe done, or just a little less than half, maybe 40%. So I got those more panels up here. Hopefully go ahead and get this thing finished, and I can start on the solar. All right, did a little work off camera because it's been so busy over here when I've been working, I haven't been recording. But as you can see, I got some of the panels up and some of the wiring done. And so what we're gonna go ahead and do is finish off this wiring and the panels, and I'll show you how I'm hooking everything up. So basically, as you can see, got a bunch of the panels up here and got these little mini rail brackets. Just take 3 screws, roofing screws basically, and install them in there. Got 4 brackets for each panel, and then in the middle, 2 of them will connect together. You just put a little bracket on there to hold them down, and it goes right into the rail. So let's go ahead and get it started. And then the wiring, basically I just put a hole through the roof and put this little boot here, and put a lot of screws around it. Keep it waterproof, run all my wires down and my ground and everything else. Alright, as you can see, just install the bracket on the end, and then we're going to slide the other panel under it And I also have a ground under there. So just slide the ground under there, and it's basically crushed in between the panel and the bracket, and it's gonna make electrical contact for the ground, and you just have to put ground on one of the panels, and then you can splice in between the two rows, and it should be good to go for grounding. Alright, so basically we got these little ground brackets and the panel will lay over the edge of it there, and it'll ground the panel basically to the bracket, and then the bracket will go to the next panel, and it'll be electrically connected with the ground. So basically just slide this on there and just lift up the panel a little bit, put it down, and then when it's tightened, it'll eat into the coating on the frame of the panel and your brackets to make them connected electrically. And I've been having to put a bracket on both sides because this one won't reach to the next panel just from the size of this bracket. It hadn't been working out where it goes to both. So I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it or just these panels, but that's how it's been working with this bracket that I have. So you can just take another one and you can just stick it on this side, and when you put the panel down, both of them be connected. All right, 2 panels left, at least up here, and got to put 4 more brackets, and then 4 brackets on each panel.
Right. Okay. Let's go.
All right, let's grab the wire from under here.
Yes, just
Get all the brackets ready. And we'll just verify all our voltages. 392 comes from one string, and 388 comes from the other one. We got 9 and 9 on both. And then we can turn it off on the inverter over here, and then we turn this one on. So we got it off on the inverter, so we can go ahead and turn it on and check the other side. We got 390 and 385, so both of those look good. So then we'll be able to turn it on the inverter. Then we'll hit the switch on the side of the inverter over here to back to on, and we'll see what happens. Then I can go finish putting the end brackets on. Still don't got them on right now. It usually takes a minute or two for this to everything to kick on, but it's showing the voltage over here 388 and 383. So, and it's both positive, so it's both positive, so it's both looking good. I need to get some water. Let's see here. And it is 10:05 in the morning, so I think some of the panels up there are still going to be in the shade. And so for right now, I just got them all in series. I got 9 in series and another 9 in series. So if one of them shaded a little bit, it's going to bring the power down on all of them. But I do have some Tigo optimizers coming, and I'm going to install them on all of them just to make sure if one's in shade, the ones that aren't, pull it all the power they can. And so we'll do some testing with that. We'll do some testing without it, of course. And then when we get the optimizers in, I'll show you how to install those. I have 12 of them right now because I plan on putting them on the roof, and then I changed it up, got 18 up here, so I've ordered enough basically for all the panels. So no matter where I put them at, I'll be able to install them. I didn't want to install like part of them with the optimizers and not do them all at the same time. 574 on one array and 570 on another. So go ahead and pull it up on the app. Right now, I'll put it up here. Right now, we're pulling in 1,351 watts off this array. And I'm guaranteeing so much still in the shade. That's probably why it's so low. It takes a while for everything to get in full sun over here. And we'll see what it looks like at that point. And of course, my angle is pretty flat where they're at. And we're just trying to pull in what we can. But 1351 at 10:07. And the house is only using 1,037. So right now, you know, without a lot of stuff running, it's running the house. And hopefully during the middle of the day, by noon, really be pulling in some serious power and be able to start charging the battery back. So let's jump up there and put those ends on those panels and go ahead and get all the wiring kind of put away where it needs to be. I got some of it at the top. I need to put it under the panels and get that squared away. And I don't have the ground done yet either, because I'm missing a grounding lug that I need to connect from there. I don't know what happened to it. I ordered one. Can't find it. I'm gonna have to get it and do it later. And so when you check your voltages and they're not under load, they're always going to be higher than when, you know, the inverter starts actually using the power. So right now it's got 374 on one and 367 on the other one. The voltage, you know, of course it dropped. And right now it's going to be lower since it's hot, but when it gets cold, that voltage is going to go up. So you want to make sure you have enough room, you know, so you're not going over that 600 volts maximum that this inverter is rated for. And you really don't want to go over 500 since the MPPT won't work after that. You know, your maximum power point tracking, you know, basically when shadows and shade and clouds come over, you know, it tracks the power and enables the inverter to bring in as much power as possible. So you want that to be in that range of, let's see what the low is. I don't know what the low is. It's right on the side of the inverter. So 120 volts to 500. I knew 500 was the max. Most people, you're gonna be closer to the maximum than the minimum. Let's go up here and look at the panels and see how the shade is. So I'm not sure if you can see that at the top, but the whole half of the top row is all got shade on it. So it's doing pretty good for both the series to have panels that have shade on it. But once we get the optimizers on, it'll take, you know, and get full power from all these panels on the bottom that are in full sun right now. And so you'll be able to pull in a lot more earlier in the morning. So there's wires up there. Let's go ahead and get those squared away. And this is what the end bracket looks like. All right, this is what we got. 18 panels. Of course, 9 on the bottom, 9 on the top. And as you can see, we still got a lot of shadow on these panels right now. You see this corner right here. Maybe able to see that, where the roof line is kind of blocking it, and it's getting lower and lower and lower over there. And it goes up a little more where the other roof line is at. So let's go ahead and get these cables squared away. Get them at least pushed under the edge for now. When I come back to do the optimizers, I'll probably clip them all down and everything, so they're really not going to go anywhere. And as you see, I'm walking around, got this little bit of space here, so if I need to step out a little bit, I'm just stepping right on top of the brackets you know, you can put your weight on it and it's not hurting anything. So all your weight is not going to push you down the mild slope I have. So I don't think it comes out until about midday where it's not completely blocking it. So the optimizers are definitely going to help. You're going to be able to pull more power. You can probably see a little better now, the shade on this side. So let's go down there and see what we're pulling in right now. So we got quite a few clouds up today too. It's really hazy. So you might be able to see that haze. So that's kind of blocking the sun some too, but looks like it just came out just a little bit more. You see that shadow line up there on those panels. So what I probably should have did is run all 9 at the bottom together and then all 9 at the top. But that's not how I did it. So I guess it ain't gonna matter when I get the optimizers on there. And right now at 1026, we're pulling in 2,788 watts. And that's with the shade on the panels. So, I mean, doing pretty good to have the stuff in series string and still be pulling in 2,788 watts. Let's see what each string is pulling in on here. 1,444, 1,432. So both the strings are pulling about even because both of them have panels that are shaded, you know, in this top row up here, which one would be doing a lot better if I had them all connected on the bottom. So if you do it, you know, don't do it like me. Do all 9 on the bottom if you don't have the optimizers. I know I was going to do optimizer in the future, and I hooked up some of them temporarily before I got done. And I didn't want to go back and unwire them all until I'm ready to do the full install with the Tigo optimizers. The house is using 1,078 watts. Then I got 1,656 going to the battery. Battery's at 25%. Because of course I hadn't really been charging it much. I charged it a little bit. I mean, it might go up to like 40%, you know, but then it's using it throughout the day when more power starts coming out, and it goes down to whatever you have the set point set at. And I think yesterday I set it down to 25, and I'm probably going to put it back to 30 since I have more solar coming in, and be able to use it for emergencies if we need to have like 30% of the battery power. So let's go ahead and go into settings and change that. I'll show you how easy it is to change. You know, you can hit read all. It's going to show you all your settings. Then you go down to discharge set. And I changed it this morning already. So it's already at 30% right there, as you can see. So if you want to change it, you know, you just click on it, make it whatever you want it to be. You can make it 40% and then set. And it'll say set successfully. And so whatever you want it, I'm going to put it back at 30. Just so that you use the power. And let me show you what my house is pulling in right now. Over at my house, so I can use the same app. So basically I have an installer account, so I can go look at multiple accounts at the same time. 10,258 watts off of my 16K array. So it's doing pretty good right now. We got 3,031 watts coming in on the solar, and it's all going back to the main panel because I still don't have anything on the critical loads panel yet. And it got 1,368 coming from the grid, and the rest, of course, the 3,000 coming from solar. So the house is using 4,275 watts. So as you can see, it's just combining the two at the panel. And that's what I like about the 18K. My 6,000 XP, it's not going to do something like that. You know, it's not that, doesn't have that grid interactivity where it can use solar, you know, and the power coming from the inverter or the battery or wherever it's coming from, and the grid into the same panel at the same time. That's one of the best things about the 18K. Even if you're not selling back, you know, it can send power back to your main power, your main grid panel, and your critical loads panel. So if the 6,000 XP could do that, that would be awesome, because I'll be hooking my stuff up like that too. I could put it right next to my main grid panel and take it out of the building and have my setup a little different. So as you can see, I still got a bunch more work to do out here. And but my main thing was getting these panels on there and hooked up. I still have more panels to hook up. Of course, I'm gonna have videos on that. I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna put them. And you know, they're gonna end up, you know, staining this whole solar patio. And I'm gonna put fans under here and lights and all that. I'll definitely make a video of that as well. But if you're interested in any of the stuff I'm using, I'll leave links down in the description. And if you use those links, of course, they're affiliate links, so I'll make a little money off of that. And that helps me buy stuff to make more videos, you know, so I can put out content on the channel. And hopefully it's gonna help people out. I want more people to be self-reliant. So You know, you do a DIY system, it's gonna be a lot cheaper than you trying to pay some solar company to come out and rip you off, and it doesn't give you solar panels and no batteries. If the grid goes down, you still don't have power. So I've been talking to people at work about that. They've been asking about solar, some of them, and you know, they've got people to come out and give them quotes and stuff like that. And I told them, you're better off doing it yourself, or at least buying the equipment that you need, and then you pay somebody to install it if you're not comfortable installing it. So you let me know down in the comments what you think I could have done better. Hey, it's a learning experience, and we're gonna keep going on, get the rest of the panels hooked up. So if you like this kind of video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and thanks for watching.